So Meltzer continues to write. This is an interesting piece he wrote. So I want to get your opinion on this. The decision for Van Dam to do the job. So you're the one that took the pin at the end of this match. Did not think it was a big deal when I watched it at all because, I mean, you hit your 5-star frog splash. Shane McMahon interfered. There was reasoning for it to happen.
Probably took a pedigree.
Took a pedigree, yes. But so Angle, instead of Angle doing the job, you did the job. Meltzer says it's likely one of those political deals. There's been a lot of talk in the dressing room before the show that this would be the night Van Dam got his payback. There's a lot of resentment of Van Dam's push, particularly because many see it as Paul Heyman's manipulation, and Heyman has both of his friends and foes politically on both sides of the dressing room and office. Adding salt to the wound is that Van Dam gets such a great crowd reaction every night, and that since the Van Dam push has started, business has been way down. Now, the crowd reaction does not indicate that whatsoever, I will say. Van Dam opening people up the hard way so often hasn't helped those going to be resentful of a newcomer that the crowd took so strongly to even before the company reacted to it and started making him a major part of the show. All this basically allows those who believe Van Dam should and shouldn't be given the huge push with plenty of legitimate arguments on either side, which makes it even more of an issue. Now, was there kind of that, I know you were kind of always thinking about the competitive aspect of it all, and certainly the politics you hate about it all. Was there that dynamic that you felt around that time too, or were you just kind of riding on this because this is like, this is validation for what you've been doing, I think, in a lot of ways. That's the appearance I got about watching this match back.
I just can't. I can't stop thinking, like, imagine if Paul wasn't there. Mm-hmm. What they would have done with me, like if I went there in 2001 and Paul wasn't there to fight for me, I would have had a complete different career, complete different. And who knows what it would have been, but we don't live in alternate universes, but he was always, everything that everybody enjoyed about my career and stuff, a lot of it was because Paul was there fighting for me, and I know they resented it. I've heard and interviews from some of the other guys talking about it, that they resented that Paul was so pro RVD, but he's the only one that understood me, mm-hmm. And but I don't know. I know I was over with the crowd, but I mean, I don't know that I could sell out huge 100,000 arena, seat arenas and shit. I don't have the ego to say this is the only chance. I just need to prove it, and this is my chance to do that. And like I don't now anyway. I don't have that kind of ego. Back then, I don't know. Hopefully, I had enough sense to just be at my best and get where that got me. And I do remember thinking that too. Mm-hmm. Like. I remember Steve Austin saying to me, "Kid, they're about to strap a rocket ship to your back. You know what that means?" And I was like, sounds good.
Yeah, sounds positive.
Right. And I remember thinking, like, it's business though, isn't it? Like, what? Am I supposed to be thankful? Like, it was weird. My thoughts were weird at that time because I thought, like, look, everyone's got an RVD signed. I'm over as fuck with everybody. And I'm supposed to say thank you so much for doing the right thing. Like that's kind of how I thought about it. You know what I mean? Gauging how over I was from my perspective, I thought, what else are you going to do except for try to capitalize on it? And I very often felt like they weren't interested in doing that. So it was kind of balanced out between the good and bad moments.
Right, sure. And like this match was a pretty good indicator of like, hey, them having confidence and like the belief in you, because there was the aspect like you were getting spots in, you hit the 5-star frog splash, you were going to get it, like there was the evidence for the fan to see that, hey, he could have won the match right there if Shane McMahon didn't interfere. No, if it was Shane McMahon that interfered. And no, Vince, I think, whoever it was. Either way, you would have got the pinfall or whatever in the match. But I think an aspect that I like just kind of thought was just fascinating was just you were super over, and that Austin like working with somebody like Austin and stuff like that, you were mixing it up with the main event stars of that day, and you were the main eventer there, and you were on the rise.